2020 brought the most horrific conditions that we have ever experienced and will continue to experience for some time to come. The global health pandemic has spared no country in its impacts on people's health and survival, its impacts on livelihoods and jobs, and impacts on economies which have already been very difficult for the majority even before the coronavirus. Poverty, hunger, economic injustice, and inequalities have been made much worse. This is especially true for women, for people of color, for indigenous peoples, for migrants, farmers, workers, and others who have had to grapple with additional layers of discrimination and marginalization. This is a situation of multiple crises, the health and economic crisis, and also climate change. In the last decade, we have seen in most countries the devastating impacts of the climate crisis. Extreme weather events have led to the loss of thousands of lives, the dislocation of millions of people, the destruction of countless homes and livelihoods. Slow onset impacts are massively affecting our ability to produce food and access fresh water. And the worst is yet to come. The multiple crises dramatically underscore the fundamental flaws of a global economic system that is primarily driven by profit-making and the concentration of wealth on elites and corporations. It is a global economic system that generates and reproduces inequalities and renders the vast majority extremely vulnerable. It is a global economic system that is destroying nature, leading to a bleak future for the planet and all of humanity. The multiple crisis is exposing how most governments and public institutions have been failing us. Many have not only shown the lack of will to do what is right and just, they are prioritizing elite and corporate interests and the defense of the flawed system at huge cost to the safety and well-being of most of their citizens. Political repression, authoritarianism, and state violence have been on the rise in many places. Our hopes and future lie in people's collective action to address the multiple crises and profoundly transform the system in its entirety, economic and political, and in all levels, local, national, and global. Women are in the front lines of these collective actions, fighting for their families, communities, and people, for survival, for justice, to end tyranny and inequality, and for a safe planet. We celebrate and honor the power, the courage, and the perseverance of women. Let us all fight for system change.